Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So you're a teenager and you're thinking about getting a job. Maybe you want to start earning your own money, or maybe your parents have just started to pressure you into finding work. I mean, we've all been there, right? But the real question is, should you even get a job as a teenager? In today's video, we are going to be breaking down the pros and the cons of being a teen with a job. And spoiler alert, there are definitely some perks, but also some things you might not have considered. So grab a snack and maybe some coffee if you're already working, and let's dive in. Alright, first up, responsibility. You know the thing that your parents have been nagging you about since like forever? Be responsible. Stop leaving your dirty laundry everywhere. Do the dishes by yourself. Well, guess what? A job can actually help with that. When you have work, you've got to show up on time, complete your tasks, and be accountable. It's like being a grown-up, but just without the worry of having to pay the bills. Suddenly, you're not just responsible for your homework or cleaning your room. Let's face it, most of us aren't doing very well in. Now, you're responsible for your boss's coffee order or make sure customers get their food hot and fresh. And trust me, knowing your paycheck depends on how well and responsible you are at work. And that really hits differently. Pro number 2, earning money and financial independence. Let's talk about the most obvious reason why we're doing this. Money. If you ever want to buy that new shiny phone or get a bunch of cool stuff that doesn't involve begging your parents for cash, well, getting a job is the golden ticket. And I mean, who doesn't want to go to the mall and not have to text your mom for money, right? You can finally buy all the snacks you want, pay for your Spotify, and maybe even contribute to the electric bill if you're feeling generous. Plus, getting paid means you can start budgeting and saving. Imagine the thrill of actually knowing where your money is going. It's like adulting, but with less stress. Pro number 3, developing work skills. Okay, here's something important. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, what can I possibly learn from working at a fast food place or babysitting? But trust me, it's more than just making fries or making sure little Timmy doesn't break your stuff. Having a job teaches you some really seriously valuable skills like communication, teamwork, time management, and problem solving. And guess what? These skills are what every future employer wants to see on your resume. Yes, even if your job was handing out samples at the malls, you still learn how to interact with people, organize tasks, and still show up on time. Pro number 4, gaining confidence. And the best part, confidence. Because there's nothing like the feeling of actually earning your own money and realizing you can do things on your own. Independence. You'll start to feel more self-assured, not just at work, but in other areas of life too, when hanging out with your friends. When you've had a tough day at work and handled it well, suddenly dealing with that math test or talking to your crush doesn't seem that bad. Pro number 5, helps with college and job applications. Alright, here's a big one. College and job applications. You know how your teacher always tells you to build up to your future, like your resume? Well, having a job as a teen is like adding an extra turbo boost to your resume, whether you're applying for college or that first ever real job. Showing you worked while juggling school is pretty impressive to me. It shows that you're disciplined, responsible, and ready for whatever comes up next. So when that job application asks you for a work experience, you've got the goods. Now, time for the cons. Con number 1, time commitment and stress. But of course, there are some downsides. First up, time commitment. As a teenager, your time is very precious. You've got school, homework, friends, and family. Adding a job to that mix can get you very overwhelmed. You might find yourself trying to juggle all those things. And guess what? Some things are just gonna fall through the cracks. Probably homework and sleep. Suddenly, you're the person at school who has 20-minute naps in the middle of the day because you had a shift the night before. Trust me, it happens. Con number 2, limited social life. If you're working weekends or evenings, you might miss out on hanging out with your friends or going to certain events. That's just the reality when you've got tons of shifts and a boss who always expects you to be there. Sometimes you'll find yourself working on a Friday night while everyone else is out doing fun stuff. Yeah, it's not the best, not super fun, but hey, think about all the money you're making and they're not. Con number 3, distraction from schoolwork. Now, let's talk about your grades. Having a job can definitely distract you from school. Probably tired after a long shift, and suddenly that history homework doesn't look so important anymore. Which, let's be real, we've all been there. Balancing work and school can be very tough. Your grades might slip, and that could affect your future plans like going to college, applying for applications, or scholarships, and blah blah blah, what else. Me personally, I've been through it. Yes, my grades did slip by a little bit, and I do regret that all the time that I put into those shifts could have been put to me studying for my exams. Con number 4, workplace stress. Let's not forget about workplace stress. As a teen, you might be more skeptical to feeling overwhelmed by your bosses or your customers. Maybe you're trying to deal with a grumpy customer or a boss who keeps making you stay late. It's part of the job, but it can be a real mood killer. Don't be surprised if sometimes you find yourself questioning yourself with life choices. It's just what it is. It is what it is, man. Last but not least, con number 5, limited job options. Finally, there's the limited job options thing. As a teen, there are only so many places that people will hire you. Most jobs want you to be at least 16. So if you're younger, like me, your options are a bit restricted. And even then, many jobs are part-time and don't offer much room for growth. You might find yourself stuck in a job that doesn't teach you anything new after a while, kind of like my job. But I'm not complaining. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you can't really compare it to your friend who also has a part-time job and makes more money than you. It really just depends on the job that you chose and you knew what was best for you. So when you pick a job that you want to do, be sure that it checks almost everything off your list. And if it doesn't really meet your own requirements and boundaries, then just don't touch the job just for the money. Trust me, don't. Now let's talk about my job experience. If you don't want to hear this part, you can go skip towards the end where the conclusion is at to really tell you all the things about the pros and cons if you should get a job or not. But I'm going to show you guys my experience. So I'm only 14 this year, and I've been through quite a number of jobs. So I have done... My official part-time job is being a pet groomer, which is where I wash dry dogs, clean up the store, and just clean up their poo and stuff. And I'd say it's a pretty traumatizing yet fun job, because if you're a dog lover, then I'm pretty sure you'd love the job. And if you can deal with scratches and you don't mind their silly attitudes, then go ahead, feel free to sign up for that job. Me personally, I do love dogs. I own 2 dogs myself, so yes, I knew that the job wasn't gonna be easy because just dogs can be very playful, right? And some of them can be super fierce. So yeah, that's what I had to deal with. But overall, I'd say that the work experience was really, it taught me a lot of stuff about customers, because there could be really sweet customers. There could also be some really bitter customers which you don't want to deal with. Same thing for dogs. There are dogs that will love you, there are dogs that will hate you, and yeah, you'll just find problems and pros and cons within the job that you choose. But for me, I am very fortunate for getting a job at such a young age, and I guess that I do have a job because of how independent I am, I'd say, and that I'm okay with handling what kind of pressure or taking on shifts that my boss would want me to, if there is availability and stuff like that. And definitely during rush hour, you're gonna be stressed. Sometimes you're just like, you're staring into outer space, like, what am I doing with my life? Sometimes I do feel like that, and I do, like I said before, ask myself these life questions, and sometimes I am overwhelmed at my job. But after a while, 2 days ago, I decided to quit my job because, yes, like I said, it did get my grades to slip just a teeny tiny bit, and after around maybe 6 months of doing my job, I realized that wasn't something that I really wanted to do, despite the pay and the work conditions. Honestly, it's been great having that job and the opportunity, but I feel like I could make use of my skills somewhere else and I could be doing much better. So yeah, pretty much it for my work experience. Next, the conclusion. So, the conclusion. Should you get a job as a teenager? Well, it actually really depends on you yourself. If you are looking to build responsibility, earn some cash, develop skills, then yeah, feel free to go for it. But just remember, balancing work with school and your social life is not a small feat. In the end, there are definitely pros and cons, like I've mentioned in this video, and you have to decide on what works best with you, for you. Like I just can't be telling you all the facts and be like, oh yeah, this is what you should do and blah blah blah. It's all up to you at the end of the day for you to be enough, like, independent and mature enough in order to make decisions on your own, especially if you want to get a job. And just make sure that you're not sacrificing your sleep for it, okay? Or your grades for a paycheck, right? So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Would you get a job as a teenager, or are you just here for the advice? See you in the next one. Bye guys.